Hey everyone, good evening. So, I wanted to share a bit of a funny conversation that I had with my son. My son asked me the other day, he said, "Hey, Mom, I never asked you why are you an Art of Living teacher? Why do you teach for the Art of Living Foundation?" And so I told him why, and he said, "Oh, Mom, you got to make a YouTube video about that." So here we are. So, to give a little bit of context, I became a teacher for the Art of Living Foundation just before I got pregnant with him. So, for his entire life, I've been an Art of Living teacher, and he's known me and seen me in that role for his entire life. For those of you who don't know, Art of Living is one of the world's largest volunteer-based nonprofit organizations. We have a presence in about 156 countries worldwide. We teach a variety of stress relief and personal development workshops. And our vision is a violence free, stress free society. Our organization was founded by this guy behind me, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, who is a global humanitarian and peace leader. He's been nominated multiple times for the Nobel Peace Prize. He's based in Bangalore in India and has been just an instrumental peace leader in a, really all over the world in a variety of conflict zones, and is really very simply, his vision is just to see a smile on everyone's face. And all of the techniques that we teach in the Art of Living Foundation come from the ancient tradition of yoga. And I know many times in the West, when we talk about yoga, we think of yoga as just being physical body postures. But yoga is actually a much broader tradition than that, that includes breathing exercises, meditation, and also knowledge and wisdom, and sort of, I guess you could call it ethics, like just sort of positive rules for healthy living. And so that's a little bit about our organization. So, coming back to my son's question, why am I an Art of Living teacher? Well, it all goes back to my very first Art of Living course, which happened 15 years ago. So there was a few things going on in my life at the time. One of the main ones was that I had just graduated from university, and as many of us know, when we go through major life transitions, graduation, separation, moving, having children, that it's a time when we sit back and reflect on, who am I? What do I want out of life? Is my life going the direction that I want it to go? And that's exactly the phase of life that I was in that moment, having just moved out of my parents' home and just graduated from university. I was very much in that phase of, who am I and what do I want out of life? And so in that phase of life that I was in, I came across a poster on my workplace. And the poster was for the Sky Breath Meditation course, which is one of our signature Art of Living programs. And the quotation on the poster said, "Existence is a fact, living is an art." And I remember thinking, yeah, that's exactly what I want. I want my life to be an art. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So I registered for the course really solely on the basis of that idea that I wanted my life to be an art. I wanted to make my life an art. And I remember two things quite vividly about that first course. And the first thing was the feeling of belongingness, the feeling of being at home and being welcome pretty much as soon as I walked in the door of that first course. Just feeling that I had found a sense of community and a sense of acceptance that I hadn't really experienced in very many other places in my life up to that point. And just that the community that was created among the teachers who were teaching the course, as well as the other participants, that I felt very comfortable and very, very, very much at home. The other memories that I have about that course that are very vivid are the memories of the Sky Breath meditation technique itself. So Sky is short for Sudarshan Kriya Yoga. And it's that signature technique that you learn on the Sky Breath meditation course. And so I remember a couple things. I remember my first experience of Sky, as well as what happened when I started to do the home practice of Sky. So on the course itself, my very first experiences with the Sky Breath meditation, I had very powerful physical benefits to begin with. So I'd been living with a couple chronic health conditions that I'd had for years up until that point. And I wasn't very old, but nonetheless, I'd still been living with these chronic health conditions that were very disruptive in my life, that required a lot of medication and that required a lot of reorganizing my life just in order to get through the day. And one of them in particular was something that caused me a lot of pain. And my first experience of the sky breath meditation was that almost immediately upon finishing that, my first couple sky breath meditations, that pain was much reduced, and feeling how remarkable it was to be able to live with so much less pain. And then as I began to practice the sky breath meditation, the home practice on my own after the course, I found that my symptoms of both of those two conditions that I'd been living with just got less and less and less and less. And I didn't really understand why it worked or how it worked at the time, but I now know, having done some reading and a little bit of research on the topic, that there are so many health conditions out there that are exacerbated by stress. And the sky breath meditation technique is something that really powerfully and effectively reduces stress. And so that in tackling my stress in this very effective, positive, and healthy way, I'd managed to alleviate a lot of the symptoms of my health conditions because I was reducing my stress. So that was the first thing that I remember, or the first benefits that I had from Sky were the physical benefits. But I also had some pretty profound mental benefits as well, in terms of my mental health. And so the main thing that I noticed was just how much more present and focused I was able to be. I think we've all had that experience of noticing that our mind spends a lot of time either drifting off to the past and regretting the past, getting angry about something that happened in the past, or drifting off to the future and getting worried or anxious about what's going to happen. And when our mind is busy drifting back and forth between the past and the future, sometimes it's really hard for us to just be present in the here, in the now, and focus on what's actually right in front of us. And what I noticed was that the sky breath meditation was something that really helped me to bring my mind into the present. And that when I would finish either the home practice or finish the full practice as it's taught on the course, that my mind became very clear, very present, and that I really felt like I was fully able to enjoy and experience what was going on in the here and now without that mental chatter of worrying about the past or the future. And so because I'd had these two really fantastic, both physical and mental benefits, I immediately thought, this is something really, really great, and this is something that I want to share with other people. So upon finishing my first course even, I said, you know what, I have to be a teacher. I really want to teach this to other people because this is just such a positive and healthy thing. It's had such a positive influence on my own life. And so when I shared this story with my son, about this is the experience I had on my first course and these were the benefits that I had, he said, oh man, you really got to go on YouTube and you got to tell people about these experiences because I think you would inspire other people to take Art of Living courses and to get their own positive benefits. And so here I am. So if you're inspired to experience a Sky Breath meditation course, I will post the link to my next Sky Breath meditation course in the chat box, and it would be really fabulous to have you come and join that course. And I wish you all a wonderful and healthy evening. Jai Guru Dev.